Everything's speeding.
Okay. You said? Okay. Brown girls grieve different. Phil interview, take one.
All right, let's hold the focus.
It's an awkward smile, huh?
Hey, how are you doing?
You know, today is another day, different from the other days because I'm gonna make a way.
Yes. So, how? I asked you how was your day?
Yeah, it was all right. It was okay. Every day is. So I'm a lot of times I'm very consumed by my thoughts, right? And I feel that I have to stop in many moments to breathe because I have a lot of self-talk that might be kind of destructive. So I'm practicing every day to be more conscious of myself and how I handle things and allow myself to process on the, calmly and more thoroughly and more efficiently and just be easy. So it was okay.
Absolutely. So, what did you eat today?
I did eat today. So I woke up, had a banana, all right. I took out my papaya fruit and I left it on the counter. And I had some dark chocolate, 75% cocoa. It was wrapped over some ginger, and I had some pecans. And then before I pulled up today, I went to this place called Teriyaki, which is on one of them hill places out there. You know what I mean? I don't really know these addresses. I've been here for 6 years. I still don't be. I know where I'm going though, but it was good. It was good. Shrimp fried rice with some grilled salmon. Mm-hmm.
For sure. Okay. Well, that sounds like a good meal.
Boom. I don't eat that good every day, but I do my best.
No, for sure. Like papaya took me because I really want to try papaya, but
Pies. It's good. I mean, I just learned that it has a little smell to it, but I never noticed really. I just started using my nose senses, and things are getting more vivid, more a little bit more loud. Because I had a surgery on my nose.
yeah.
I grew up with like nose issues,
For sure.
you know. So now I smell things differently, and I make myself smell.
Nice. Okay, for sure. Well, I kind of want to get into the questions. Like, again, like this is because we've had conversations like this so many times. You know, there's actually like a personal situation that you did help me with. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so we basically talk about this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm gonna get into the questions and kind of like, you know, it's literally just me and you, just with a camera and a boom mic
For sure.
and Ezra, right?
Definitely. I got it.
So, brown girls grieve differently. I kind of wanted to get into the psychology about how, black women grieve. And it was
Right.
based off of this, study led by researchers from NYU.
Mm-hmm.
And they did a study in which, they found that black women, from the 227 women that they studied,
Right.
they had different symptoms when it came to depression than white counterparts.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of wanted to shed light on that just so I can, just break the stigma and stereotypes that surround
Mhm.
black women in grief. So we don't go off of, just a surface level of understanding, and we can actually get it on a deeper level so black women can get the treatment that they need.
I love it. Mm-hmm.
So with going into the questions, I actually wanted to know, like, especially as a black woman who is queer, like, what does grief what does grief mean to you? And how do you process that?
So grief to me is basically a loss of something, not just someone, because I know that's very significant for sure, but grief is a loss that expresses something that either you can't get back or it created a drastic change inside of you, right? And I remember being at a young age and people in my family kept passing away, and I didn't really understand what I was supposed to feel from it. But I do remember my grandma passed, and I think that was the first time I realized that something wasn't right. But my family, everybody was crying. I think I might have been like 5 or 6, and we was in Chicago, and my grandma passed. And I didn't really get to know her. My grandma on my mom's side. And I just remember seeing a grave and a person going in it. And I remember lashing out and just like crying and screaming. And I was confused and lost on the inside. And so they had to put me in the car, and they left me in the car for like, I don't even know how long, but I don't want nobody to get reported. Just saying, I might have got a little brain damage sitting in that hot sun. But so I think from that moment, I realized that I wasn't as okay with the thought of death. But I think I blocked it out also. Anybody else that passed away after that, I don't think I ever acknowledged it. And I think I went, it's weird that I'm saying this now because I kind of realize it, but I think from that moment up until like in my 20s, maybe late 20s, I felt like I was on a autopilot mode to where I wouldn't allow, or not even that I knew I was not allowing myself, but I wasn't feeling things. I wasn't experiencing emotions the way I guess people think you should in other people's eyes, And I used to hear from a lot of significant others that I seemed like a robot a lot of times. Like I know how to perform feelings or expressions in the way of love and, gesturing things. But as far as the responses to how you deal with emotions, I didn't really have that. I felt like a robot a lot of times. So, yeah, detachment, and it was very easy for me. I didn't even know that I was detaching from anything. I didn't realize anybody was lost in my life for a long time until somewhat recently getting out of the Army. So grief has been awkward for me. I'm just now understanding a lot more of it, and I'm allowing myself to feel things.
I appreciate what you just said.
Me too. Thank you.
So you talk about like when you were little and you crying a lot. So with understanding like grief and what that was for you when you were little, when was the last time you cried?
Man, I love crying. Let me tell you. Crying is like a rush. It feels like my body is it's kind of joyous actually. It's a relief, letting go of pressures inside of you and just allowing yourself. I used to get upset because I couldn't cry. And people used to always like try to cheer me up, like, because I want to be mad. And I'm like, no, I'm mad. Stop. God, okay, I'm going to laugh. And it's like, I wanted to be so sad and be mad because I wanted to feel what the feeling was. And I couldn't remember like how to be upset. I spent so much time either feeling absent or feeling like I didn't matter, or like I don't know. I didn't feel like I had a reason or like my body understood how to cry. I just felt like it was what it is. Like I didn't feel like I got, you know, the attention I wanted anyways. So it was just like, whatever, okay, cool, you know. I don't know, crying is exciting now. When I actually feel it. I remember I cried the hardest I've ever cried when I was going through the loss of my soldier in the Army. I was a recruiter, and she was one of the soldiers that I recruited that really looked up to me, and she was in 12th grade. And I remember her mom did not want her to go in the Army. When I tell you, she seen me and she was like, "Oh no, you're not taking my daughter away from me." And I was like kind of giggling, like, you know, why do you think that? Like, she's, you know, it's the reserves. Like, I was a National Guard recruiter. I'm like, she's going, basically I'm gonna help her go to college, you know, she's gonna be part-time. She's gonna do this 2 weeks out the month. 2 weeks out the, you know, out the year, and a weekend out the month. And even her daughter and the young lady I was recruiting, she's like, "Mom, it's not what you think. You know, I really look up to her. She's not gonna lie to us. You know, all the stuff that she's done. I really want this. Like, you know, I mean, I want to go to college too, but I want to be proud of myself and say, you know, I feel like I could do this." And so we had to talk her mama into letting her go, and she trusted me. And after she went to training, like I was there for her. Like, she was in training. Her basic drill sergeant was calling me and talking to me, and it's like, you know, she's not gonna pass the PT test. She needs somebody to talk to her, and she's on the crying, sobbing, calling me. Her mom was like, "Please, Sergeant CIRTified, talk to her. She, you know, she's not feeling well. She's not doing well." And so I got on the phone with her, and after we talked, she was just like, "Thank you. Like, I've never had anybody say the words to me that you've said." And so it really impacted me just to know that somebody in my age, in that mind frame, because I didn't have anybody for me, you know, growing up at that age to give me guidance, to let me know it was okay, you know, to not be so great at things, and that sometimes you gotta understand how to believe in yourself, but you gotta know that people have your back. And so when she came back with that response, like, "Man, I'm so happy I met you, I found you, I feel like my life is gonna be okay. I'm gonna come back to you, basic training," whatever. She made it through, she passed it. I think she was a honor graduate, I don't remember, but she did really well. She got not noticed for something. And so she came back, had her uniform ready. She was like, "Sergeant CIRTified, I made it back. I told you I would. I did this. I made it happen for you, my family, you know." And she looked good in her uniform. And she sent me a picture, but she was like, "I can't wait to see you at training." And so we live like an hour and a half away from where we had to go and train for the weekend. We do weekend training. And so she had to drive there. And she was excited about driving, because I was like, "You need me to pick you up?" It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. I was like, "You need me to pick you up? I know you back. You a big old graduate out here, Army. Who you doing it and all that good stuff. I'm proud of you. But I can come get you." She was like, "No, I'm okay, son. I can make it." And so she was like, "I want to show you what I've been doing." And so I was like, "All right, bet." So I let her take over. You know, she was gonna drive. She was like, "I'm gonna let you know on the way." So she called me like hour later, was like, "I'm gonna be late. My car ain't start. I'm sorry. You know, I had made it, but she had to catch a ride with another soldier. So they ended up not. They. Oh damn.
Everything's speeding.
Okay. Brown Girls Grieve Differently, Phil interview, take 2.
Hold on, let me make sure Phil's in focus. Okay.
I'm gonna focus.
You are, love.
All right.
So we last left off on you talking about one of your soldiers
Oh yeah.
and how and I want to be careful how I word this because it wasn't something that was easy, you know. It was a soldier that you had lost, and you were talking about losing them. So how did you process that grief? And yeah.
It didn't go well. I had not responded to a passing since I was 5, you know, when my grandma passed. So I think in a significant way it affected me to where it surprised me, and I didn't know it was even a thing. Because she was on the way to report to me, and I felt responsible for her. I felt like she was somebody, like in a way I felt somewhat like a parent. You know what I mean? Like as a mentor, I felt like, you know, or a big sister, big auntie, whatever, you know, I feel like I was somebody responsible for her. So even though I wasn't present on our everyday basis, when I was waiting for her to report, like like hours was going by, and I was busy with other young people that I was managing at the time, you know, doing my military schedule, and I didn't realize she had not showed up yet. And when the time came, one of my senior people came and pulled me to the side and said, "Hey, Cirton, we need you to step into the room." So at that time, I'm still in training mode. Like, I'm like, okay, oh God, I hope I ain't got in trouble again. You know, all kind of other stuff, you know, happening. So I'm like, I'm just trying to make sure my day going well. So I had to calm myself down because I'm like, all right, what I did. So pulled me to the side, we in the room, and I'm just looking at them, and they breathing regular, and I'm just like, okay, maybe it ain't that. So I'm just sitting there, you know, and they was like, "How you doing? Your day all right?" You know, asking me those questions, like, everything going all right, training, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, yeah, everything's straight, you know. And they was like, "Well, got something to tell you." I was like, "Okay, what's up?" "One of your soldiers died." Just like that. And so he didn't say one of your soldiers, he said that soldier. He said the name of the soldier, which I'll say her name. Her name is Brianna Statton. And it took a long time for me to be able to say her name again after that. But I remember him saying it, and I was confused, and I was just, I was like this. I was stuck. I didn't know what to do because it was nothing to do but to take it in, and I didn't know how to take it in because nothing made sense at the time. So I remember just having a straight face, and it felt like I wanted to throw up. And before I knew it, that's what happened. It was like an explosion in my face. Everything, it just snot and crying. It was just like like a hollering, screaming. I fell to the floor. I felt like I was trying to grip the floor and pull something out of it. I didn't know what to do. It was dark, and I couldn't breathe, and I felt like I did so much bad in my life, and it was uncontrollable, and there was nothing I could do to make it go away. There's nothing I could do. All I could think of was I had to go talk to somebody's mama. This was that moment that I always feared in the military. Like, I always wanted to be a recruiter, but I never thought I would be the reason why, or it would happen to me, because I'm in the National Guard. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I put a safe space in my head, like, it's just the National Guard. But after that, I realized my whole morale went down, and I didn't feel like I belong anywhere. I didn't connect with anything. I did not feel safe. And I think about, I was going in, like, to the doc, like, to the doctors and trying to figure out why I was feeling this way. And I didn't want to go to the funeral. I went I was getting medications and all this other stuff. And I was just like, man, I had to see her mom and I had to break down. And I'm like, man, that was probably the worst time in crying. And knowing crying was a part of this experience. It was, I couldn't get it back. I couldn't get it back. So. I'm okay. So I just, I just felt like I failed. And the first time I had ever felt like I was successful at something and I was good, I didn't know I belonged again. And I just wanted to get out. I wanted to get out of everything. I wanted to get out of life. Like it wasn't my fault, but it was a car accident. And I just felt like I had directly impacted somebody who really believed in me, and I had never had that before. I always felt like a failure and everything. And so I think in that it brought me back to life also. It brought me back to life for me. Me screaming on the inside and realizing I was trapped. There was two different things happening, or two different people inside of, or whoever, however many people. I don't want to say I have multiple personality disorder, but I felt like there was more of me trapped inside of me. Like there was a window I was staring in inside of my head and I wasn't in control. And it was like, I don't belong here. Where do I belong? What am I looking for? And I remember all these therapy centers I was going through, inpatient, outpatient, and I couldn't identify anything, but I listened to other people's stories. And I value that in therapy so much. Group therapy really brought me back to life. Understanding what other people are experiencing in life. And the grief that I was experiencing is not just my own, you know? Everybody's going through something. And I see other people's pain and it gives me hope. Not that I feel, you know, I celebrate other people's pain or anything like that, but I celebrate the triumph of the struggles that people go through. And that's why I always want to be a part of something or someone else's journey in some way. I want to impact somebody and whatever purpose that I'm creating, because I'm creating my purpose right now. And I wasn't in control of that before, but I am now. And I'm going to do this for my soldier, and I'm going to do this for everybody else that I feel needs that in my expression. That's why I'm okay with being vulnerable, because you can't hurt me. Like, I can only hurt me. Mentally, physically, I'm the one that can hurt me. Because I'm the voice inside of my head, you know. And yes, I believe in a higher power. And I feel as long as I continue to rise above the negativity, that it's gonna, eventually it will be okay. And I'm gonna do what I can until the last dying day. I'm not afraid of death. It's gonna happen. And I feel like that's the biggest fear of them all. Death is the thing that people fear the most. If you can get past, I'm gonna die one day, you can get past any other fear in this world and be the best you can be. All the shit talking I do in my own head, all the crap talking I do in my own head. You have a tissue?
Yeah. I'm gonna go get a tissue.
Okay.
Where'd you go?
Come here. Why don't, come here. Well, I'll go get the tissue.
Okay.
So that at least you can keep talking here.
I think it's some napkins in my bag, in my food bag.
You get some more if you need to.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I think that's okay right now. But yeah. So, I think the question was, okay. Just about, I guess it all came up from crying and me understanding why crying is okay. So yeah, that whole experience has been the highlight of my journey in discovering myself and realizing while I'm very happy that I've had the experiences I've had, and I've been a part of a very powerful group, the Army, for a long time in my life that has helped be a part of my growth and maturity and, you know, understanding this world. I'm so much more grateful for the end of that life also, and discovering me and what I want. And so accessing this pain is power.
Absolutely. Another question I want to ask you is, when was the last time you felt seen and how did it make you feel?
I think me feeling seen, as a person, there's so many different stories for that. I'll go to something recent, something easy, because my stories can get long. But I think recently, I've learned to see the good in everything, even in my most stressful times. And I've had a challenge this quarter in my design class. My first day in my Design 100 class made me realize, even though I know it, like I'm not perfect, I'm not the most well put together person, but I know I need help with a lot of things. And I've came to terms with understanding that I am always going to need a lot of help, no matter how good I make it look sometimes. And I might not even make it look good. I might just think I make it look good. But my teacher in that class stressed me out the first day because I knew with Design 100, time management was going to be the key to making things work and making all ends, come together. And organization, which are things that I have been working at, like actually working at for the last 3 years since I've been getting out of the process and out of the military. Because I realized that it is such a challenge to get a day completed without a well planned out schedule, organizational skills, and managing your time wisely. Like a day can really feel like a year if you don't have that. And so in this class, I honestly, I've been learning how to just be okay with understanding that it can feel like a struggle, but you just keep working at it. And I came to this school and I felt the most open and accepted I've ever felt in my life. I've never felt so accepted. And I've spent a lot of time wanting to fit in, and I never did. I always hear voices like telling me I don't belong somewhere. And I feel seen here. Even though I still had a little voice in my head that tells me in every situation I don't belong there. Like I'm always ready to move. And I have a hard time staying in things like, relationships and stuff like that, because I'm always ready to leave. Like I feel like, okay, so this isn't working, okay, cool, time to go, right? And it wasn't hard for me to attach to the idea that, okay, if it's over, right? So, but here, it's like, this is me. This is my time to put the pressure on, like myself, and really understand that, or really get comfortable with the idea that I'm making this happen. This is no one else's goal. This is my future. This is something that I want. I'm making these decisions, so I'm gonna stick with it. So I feel seen here, and in everything I do. All my teachers have made me feel amazing. There's no other school I've ever been to that makes me feel the way I feel, and wanting to keep going and keep building my aspirations and my love for creativity. I never felt like a creative, so now I do. I feel accepted in that way. No matter what kind of thoughts and ideas come in my head, I feel like I can still do things and create things and be a part of things. And I just push through the negativity that's been built in me for so long in my life.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask you this question. What does joy mean to you?
I think I listened to somebody else say it in some of the other interviews, but joy feels like peace. It feels like, she said sun. I love the sun. I feel like me and the sun have this relationship. It's more like a sensationship. I ain't gonna do that, but I was gonna start with a poem, but I ain't gonna do that. But the sun makes me feel amazing, and it's probably because all that, the vitamin D that it kicks out, it helps kick out our pores and our bloodstream and stuff. But I just like to feel the feeling of free, and I don't like to be cold. So joy is not in the cold. It is not there. Joy is loving the deepest, darkest parts of yourself. Joy is knowing that no matter what choice you chose to make, that the destination is not over. You know, you can always come up with another decision and, you know, create a different path. Joy is just loving every part of you. And eating, food. Joy is food. Joy, there's so many things sensational. There's some things that I probably shouldn't talk about on camera, but joy, I love joy. It's inside. It's beautiful. Skipping, I like skipping through the hallways. I can have on a suit and look the most business and still be out here skipping. And it just feel good, you know. I don't care who's watching no more. Like, you know, I don't care who judgment. Everybody judges, right? Right? Everybody don't got a degree for judging, but everybody is judgmental. And honestly, it's normal. Like, I don't mind. I want to understand your opinion. I want to know why you feel the way you feel. Where does it come from? What are you thinking? Where are you processing that? Did you experience something as a young person? Did somebody make you feel a way in your current life? Like, why are you judging it? You know what I mean? So for me, I'm judgmental, but I don't necessarily project my judgments on other people anymore. I think about it more deeply now, to where I'm like, if I say anything in my mind, well, I'm like, why they look like that, or why do they say that, or how they come to me like that? I'm just like, I wonder what happened for them to want to feel that. Or I'd be like, and I understand, you might have experienced something, I get it. It won't hurt me, I probably think into it more than anything. I'm really like a high thinking person without any, substances. I am a substance.
So I do have one last question for you. So what would you say to the little black girl that is, in film school, in the army, and anywhere? What would you say to that little black girl that is trying to cope with grief? What advice would you give her?
Nobody knows you like you know you. Feel those things that are the hardest things to feel. Confide in the people that you feel it's okay for you to confide into. But also know nobody's opinions or anybody's advice is gonna weigh in. Actually, take power in it. People giving you advice. Take power in hearing other people's opinions, because you make a decision at the end of the day. Like, oh, okay, I heard this person say this. I can take a little bit out of that. Or, this person expressed this or looked this way. Take power in all of that. You're the most important thing in your life. So choose you, love you, and always, always invest in your mental capabilities and the knowledge that you can gain to be a better person. Is you, not them.
Okay, so you know what I'm about to do, right?
What?
So, like, when people first meet you, what is it, like, how do you introduce yourself?
Boom. So, I am Phil CIRTified. And I will always like to help you feel more certified when sharing space with me. And in feeling certified, which is a university of me, and making you feel more comfortable around me, I would like to help affirm your way of living by your standards in anything and everything you do. So join me and just being open with no judgment.
Can I give you another hug?
Let's go. I love it. Vulnerable nation, baby.
Gang.
I love it. Thank you for the whole platform. It's great. I appreciate it. I needed this cry. Dang, but I was just thinking, I need something to cry about. But it was great. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Okay.